Thank you, Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Have you ever said yes, and you woke up the next morning and you said, what was I thinking? About half of you are avoiding eye contact with me. Well, I had an opportunity to say yes. I was at a nonprofit, and they said, why don't you give this guy a tour? And if the tour is successful, he might give us some money, especially if you play golf with him. I gave him a tour. He said, Bob, that was really good. Let's play golf. I said, yes. He gave us a tee time about a month out. There were just 2 problems. 1, I didn't have anything to wear. I started working on that immediately. 2, I didn't have any golf clubs. And 3, I didn't know how to play golf. This is a start, right? Didn't know how to play golf. But you know what? In high school, I would take dates out and play miniature golf. And putting is half the game, right? I'm halfway there. I can do this. Now I needed some clubs. I was headed over to Dick's Sporting Goods when I passed a garage sale, and I saw a big bag of clubs right out front. I slammed on the brakes and raced on over there. Here came the owner. He looked like Bill Murray. He says, aren't those beautiful clubs? I said, well, wow, look at them, so clean, and that bag is so pretty. He said, you know those belong to Tiger Woods? I said, get out, Tiger Woods. He said, yes, sir. He pulled one out and says, look, it's got this special alloy shaft called Hunkerding. I said, Hunkerding? He says, yeah, you can hit the ball further using Hunkerding shafts. I'm thinking it's going to cost thousands of dollars. He says, I'm sacrificing them today for $100. I said, yes. Well, I put those clubs in my vehicle and raced on home. I called up the golf club. I said, I need lessons. They said, come right on over. I continued working on that outfit because I really wanted to impress the golf pro. I think I impressed him because he is looking at me. He says, well, get a club out of your bag and let's see what you got. Aim at that target over there. So I aimed at the target. He says, well, wait a minute. We've got a major problem already. I said, what? He says, those are left-handed clubs. I said, left-handed, how could that be? They belong to Tiger Woods. He says, no way. I said, wait, look right here on the shaft. It says TW. He says, give me that thing. He turned it over. He says, that says M1, not TW. That's the model number. And besides that, it's a cheap clone. You can buy these off the internet for $29.95 to include shipping. I said, well, it's got this special Hunkerding alloy shaft. He looked at me and said, Hunkerding? He looked at me like I was a few golf balls short of a dozen. He says, if you're going to use these clubs, you'll have to turn the other direction. I said, okay, but wouldn't I have to play the golf course backwards? He rolled his eyes. I borrowed some clubs and I had lessons. And then the big day came to play with Art. That was his name, the guy with the money, the nonprofit. I showed up at the country club. I wanted to be really special for Art. I didn't want my forehead blinding him. And so I got there. Here came Art. Art starts looking around like, I'm thinking he wants his buddies to see who he's playing with. Well, I got up on the first tee and I am shaking like a brand new Toastmaster giving an icebreaker in front of a bunch of DTMs. I swung. What? Oh. And that's the way it went. The first hole was a par 4, meaning I should get it in the cup in about 4 strokes. I was counting 10, 11, 12. Art says, Bob, why don't you just play for fun? You don't have to keep score. I thought, thank you, dear Lord. I am delivered. But you know what? He wrote us a check. And a month later, I got the golf bug. I'm out there with a guy named Ralph playing in a neighborhood golf course. I'm up at the tee. There are a couple of teenagers behind us with their shirts off, goofing around on a patio. I swing. There's a minor miracle, the ball is up in the air. And then one of the boys said, "Hey, mister, that's the ugliest swing I've ever seen in my life." I'm thinking, what? He's 14 years old? How many swings can he have seen? The other little boy says, "Hey, man, where do you get your clothes?" I'm thinking, hey, he has some potential. But now I'm ready to go and get real lessons from real professionals. I go to one of those indoor places, where they put you in a little room like it's like a racquetball court, and there's a net, and they're videotaping you, and they're getting the speed of your swing and all that. Well, I'll tell you what. In 2 years of lessons, I learned to go from here to here. And the instructor said, "Bob, you're way ahead of your peers. If you sign on for another year, we'll probably get into a full backswing." I thought, wow, I am so good. Then he went out of the room and I saw a club leaning against the wall. I went over and grabbed it and thought, wow, isn't this a pretty club? Look at it. Let's try it out. I teed up a ball. So whoosh, correct! Oh, that ball must have gone 200 miles an hour into the net. I'm surprised there's no hole burning in the net right now. Let's try it again. So whoosh, correct! Wow! Just then the instructor came back in the room. I'm looking at the golf ball to see if the cover is still on it. He says, "Bob, how's it going?" I said, "I love this club. Look at it. It is so cool." He says, "Bob, that's a custom design club." I'm thinking, I want one of those. He says, "We can get you one of those. But I should tell you first that was designed for a 9-year-old girl." And after all this time, you know what? Golfing is kind of like flogging a dead horse. The more you swing, the less you get out of it. In fact, golf spelled backwards is flog, F-L-O-G. From now on, I'm calling it flogging. Be careful what you say yes to, but if you want to go flogging with me, give me a call and I'll get a tee time. Mr. Conrad.